listen close. Truth not hide forever. Hey. Colonel in the house. Wyatt Africa, stand up. Hey. Legacy media all around. Headlines spinning round and round. Selling fear from town to town. Trying to keep the people down. Lies and fake news every day. Misinformation on display. Disinformation lights the way, leading sheep so far astray. Little lambs in line, trusting everyone in sign. Marching where them say is fine, never asking who designed. Truth gets traded for political gain, again and again and again. While ordinary people feel the strain, caught in somebody else's game. Resistance is futile, them say. Just obey what you're told today. But the people waking up anyway, and the truth keeps finding a way. Resistance is futile, them cry, while their stories never quite comply. You can see it with your own two eyes. Truth lives on, it never dies. Them divide people left and right, turning neighbors into fights, clouding up what should be bright, hiding facts out of sight. They use people then discard, push narratives strong and hard. When the evidence leaves them scarred, them simply move the goalpost yard by yard. Cognitive dissonance in the air, contradictions everywhere, yet some still pretend not to care. Like the emperors got close to it. But our movement's growing every day, not from rage and not from hate, just folks who choose to investigate before it's far too late. Resistance is futile, them say. Just obey what you're told today. But the people waking up anyway, and the truth keeps finding a way. Resistance is futile, them cry, while their stories never quite comply. You can see it with your own two eyes. Truth lives on, hey, it never dies. Come and get a daily dose of reality. No hysteria, no manufactured tragedy. Take a little break from propaganda and insanity, and step into a place of clarity. Inoculation against fake news infection. Yellow journalism without direction. Question everything, make your own inspection. Truth should never fear examination. Join the colonel, hear the story. Without all the money, facts should glory. Facts before ideology, that's the art of honest reporting. The Wyatt Africa isn't just a name, it's ordinary people in the game. Thinking freely, not seeking fame, refusing to be led by shame. Just chill, relax and near the scene, see what all the headlines mean. Objectivity sharp and clean like a river flowing crystal green. No need for panic, no need for fear. Take a look and make it clear. When the facts and evidence appear, the signal rises through the smear. Resistance is futile, them clear, yet more people question all the same. Searching truth beyond the frame, and refusing to play the game. Resistance is futile, no more. People knocking on reality's door, seeking facts they're looking for, and finding what they can't ignore. Yeah man, truth shines brighter than confusion. The noise fades, the facts remain. Colonel Chris and the Wyatt Army, keeping it cool, keeping it real. Resistance is futile when the truth is coming true. Fade out. Truth, 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 truth. Ooh. Truth, truth. Ah, da, 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 da. Truth, 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 truth.
Marvin Divine. I'm saying bye to all the lies and all the times you cried, saying that I wasn't right, yet I was right by your side. You manipulator, playing games, your friends commentators, and I don't know what what you say about our private conversations, but it's got them hating. Thanks to all the rumors you be claiming. It's cool, I'm done with you, so they can throw you a celebration. You gon' hate it when you see me with somebody living better. I'm trying to tell you that me just doing me gon' have you jealous.
Hello, folks. Welcome back to the program. It is the 9th of June, 2026. Pleasure to have you back with me once again. Looks like we've narrowed down the meet and greet for Saturday in Greenville, South Carolina. Just want to get that up on the screen right now. I'll share this shortly with folks. So, it's interesting because I have so many things going on. People act as if I'm intentionally neglecting people or omitting them. That's not the case. There has been no act of omission. The only people that I've been ignoring are two people who were very disrespectful to me and sent me nasty comments. Oh, Pikachu up there. I didn't realize he was up there. The only people I've been ignoring are those two people. The rest of you I'm not ignoring. And only ignoring those people until I've calmed down about their abuse of me. Anyway, so it's like people like, you didn't send me this. Well, I mean, I've got lots going on, and there's only so much one person can do. But here's a meet and greet for this Saturday at Greenville, South Carolina. So if you are able to make this, you're welcome to make it. It's Saturday afternoon in Greenville, South Carolina. Anyone that's in the area that wants to come, it's in an apartment complex, and I understand it's been cleared. We're okay to do it there. I hope that works out well. I haven't been there. Yes, I saw what happened in Belfast, Daisy. It's part of my newscom program, which will be coming up here shortly. So there you go. That's Saturday. In addition to that, also have the meet and greet that's taking place in Decatur on Friday. The Decatur meet and greet is on Friday. So we have back-to-back meet and greets. So here's the Decatur meet and greet. So you can see that one. Friday afternoon after I arrive in Atlanta. So that's at Kensington Road, Kenridge Apartments in Decatur at 4 p.m. If you're able to make it, you're welcome to come. So look forward to people joining us in those two meet and greets. Right. Okay. What did Pikachu do wrong? Well, it's not appropriate for this. He probably shouldn't have been up from last interview. But I had the green screen on, so I didn't notice it. Pikachu is for night owls. Silly people make fun. Well, it's not serious. He's got stuffed animals back there. Well, it's the 100th anniversary of Winnie the Pooh and Tigger 2. So that's why they're back there. Not be able to make it. Sorry to hear that, Loretta. You're on the other side of the world, so that's going to be a bit challenging for you. That's what's going on there. So Israel has renewed strikes on Lebanon, which is likely to piss off the Iranians, who are likely to probably start launching missiles again in Israel. So it's Max again. What is that? Max is here. Did I see Max? Is Mad Max in the chat? He's usually working this hour. Maybe he's got the day off. I don't see Max. Anyway, yes, I got the Apache helicopter going down as well. Those are all stories I'm covering today. The buffering is on your end. It's working on this end. I double-checked my connection before we got started because we had some dodgy connection yesterday. Back to the story of Israel and what's happening right now in the Middle East. Israel launches new Lebanon strikes even as Trump insists the Iran deal is coming soon. The strikes today in southern Lebanon came hours after the president's latest optimistic assessment and risk renewed fighting with Tehran. Hours after the president's latest optimistic estimate, Israel renewed its military assault in Lebanon. The attacks risk renewing fighting in Tehran a day after exchange the threatened return to an all-out war. We're in the final throes of what will be a very, very good deal, Trump said early Tuesday. He said the agreement would reopen the critical waterway and assure Iran would not be able to obtain nuclear weapons in any way, shape, or form. Well, that is the key pieces of this. It would also be nice to get rid of these theocratic thugs, but that's not going to happen. The people of Lebanon, or of Iran will not be freed from the scourge. The Gauteng police claim that they're ready for June 30th, and I question their readiness. How can you be ready? Your leaders are all involved in corruption. Police ready for potential unrest linked to the 30 June deadline, says the commissioner. Well, we shall see. Gauteng Police Commissioner Lieutenant General, what a comedy, Lieutenant General. You're a cop, not a general. Tommy Mtobeni has assured the public that law enforcement agencies were fully prepared to respond to any threats to public safety and security linked to the looming 30 June deadline. Anti-immigrant sentiment has become prevalent in the past few weeks as South Africans look to blame undocumented foreign nationals, you mean criminal alien invaders, for the lack of jobs, when they should be blaming the ANC. The organizers of the anti-immigrant protests, which include groups such as March and March, have imposed the 30 June deadline for undocumented foreign nationals to leave the country. Stop calling them undocumented. They're not undocumented. They're documented. They were born in a country. Someone has a record of their birth. And most likely, they're not undocumented. They are criminal alien invaders. Call them what they are. Well, the mass exodus from South Africa of nationals is gone from Ghana to Malawi to Nigeria, proposing it, to Zimbabwe actually executing it. 74 Zimbabweans are fleeing xenophobia in Mossel Bay in a bus. Primrose Sibanda said she was forced out of her shack at Kwanongwapa after it was looted and torched. Truck driver Elijah Chikwenya, his wife and 2 children, are grateful to the Zimbabwean government for providing them passage back home. The Zimbabwean government is making arrangements for its citizens in KZN to return home. After 5 days of police protection at the Mossel Bay Municipality Hall in Western Cape, Primrose Sibanda finally made it to Zimbabwe unscathed amid xenophobic attacks. She's among 74 Zimbabweans, comprising 49 adults and 25 children, repatriated. It was a horrible 2 weeks of uncertainty. I left my belongings, which I think they helped themselves to, before setting the shack alight. A domestic worker was in the country illegally. She was in legally with a Zimbabwean exemption permit, but that didn't help. They didn't want to see or hear anything. They knew I was Zimbabwean, and that was enough for them to tell me to leave because I was one of those who were taking their jobs. Permits given 18-month extension are set to expire May 28th next year. She got wind of some foreigners fleeing attacks were being taken in at Mossel Bay Municipality Hall, so she went there. Police guard the hall, but we could hear the thugs moving around to attack people in nearby areas. It's traumatic for us as adults. You can imagine what the children felt. This is a very bad look for South Africa. Black Africans fleeing because they aren't safe in South Africa, because of xenophobic attacks by racist xenophobes in South Africa. Afrophobia is alive and well in South Africa, despite the lies of Fikile Mula and Cyril Ramaphosa's threats to those threatening those folks. Now, ladies and gentlemen, let me talk to you about propaganda and yellow journalism. Okay? An economy that's less developed, particularly one like South Africa, needs to see robust economic growth. GDP growth of 6.5% or higher per annum is necessary to catch up with the backlog of poverty caused by ANC macroeconomic policies for 32 years and, of course, by some of the apartheid spatial dispensation that occurred before that. But you need 6.5% year after year after year GDP growth, which is what China achieved for 30 years. South Africa needs that in order to erase the poverty deficit. But the Independent Online, also known as the Toilet Paper Record, wants to convince you that South Africa's green shoots are in play. This narrative that South Africa's economy is doing well is comical. They're celebrating GDP growth of 0.5%, 0.5%. After inflation running at 3.9%, which is low for South Africa, after inflation and population growth, which is over 1%, people are poor. GDP growth of 0.5% is not growth. It's a contraction, because your population is growing faster, more mouths to feed, more resources needed, and your inflation is outpacing the value of your rand. So to see this nonsense put into a newspaper that wants to take itself seriously is just propaganda. This is what the media does. Just like their obsession with Trump going to a Knicks game, but they never have a damn thing to say when Obama did the same thing. South Africa's economy extends growth streak as GDP rises 0.5%. Are you serious? Yogeshen Pillay, are you a propagandist? South Africa's economy grew at 0.5% in the first quarter, making a second consecutive quarter expansion and signaling gradual resilience despite continued weakness in key sectors. Data released by Statistics South Africa on Wednesday showed that gross domestic product increased by 0.5%, falling 0.4% in the final quarter of last year. That's ridiculous. The sixth straight quarter of expansion. There's no expansion. You're falling behind. The latest figures suggest that while South Africa's economy recovery remains modest, growth is being supported by resilient sectors, strong agricultural output, and a positive trade balance. This is delusional. I'm using the official figures. I'm sure it's higher than 3.9%, but the official figures speak loud and clear on their own. 9 out of 10 sectors expand as South Africa's economy gains momentum, says Nicola Mawson. Nicola, what are you drinking? Gains momentum? No. South Africa's economy delivered an unexpectedly strong start in 2026. Unexpectedly strong start. Strong start? I mean, frankly, some people need to learn the English language. That's not strong. 0.5% is not strong. It just isn't. I don't know where anybody gets the concept that 0.5% is a strong growth. That's just ridiculous. This economy here in the United States, a $35 trillion a year economy, needs to grow at 2.4% to 3.2% optimal. Anywhere in that range is healthy. Anything above that risk inflationary pressure to rise prices. Anything below that is too slow. So 2.4 to 3.2% is healthy for an economy this size. China still needs to grow at over 5% per year, and it's not doing that. But South Africa is not growing. It's contracting. And anyone telling you different is just lying to you. They're just pissing in your cornflakes and telling you it's actually lemonade. It's not lemonade, it's urine. A trio were finally found guilty of the 2018 brutal murder of the British botanist. Here we have the accused Aslam Del Vecchio, Fatima Patel, and Musa Jackson guilty in the murder trial. Judge Esther Stain delivered a damning verdict in the KZN High Court today, ruling that oral testimony, forensic evidence, and cell phone data directly linked 3 people to the robbery, theft, kidnapping, and murder of British botanist Rodney and Rachel Saunders. Accused number 1, Sayafundin Aslam Del Vecchio, and his wife, Bibi Fatima Patel, refused to leave the holding cells beneath the court to face the music. Only their co-accused, Malawian national Musa Jackson, sat alone in the dock as she read her findings. In addition to the murders, Del Vecchio was found guilty of malicious damage to property for allegedly torching more than 20 kilometers of sugarcane fields belonging to Tongat Hewlett, which caused $2.3 million in losses. The world-renowned botanists who held dual South African British citizenship were searching for rare gladolia seeds in northern KwaZulu-Natal when they were ambushed in the forest. Their bodies were thrown in the crocodile-infested Tugela River due to severe decomposition. It took 3 forensic experts to identify them and establish that they had sustained horrific injuries, including stab wounds and a fractured skull. At the heart of the conviction was a chilling trail of cell phone messages that Sten said exposed a calculated plot. Data analysis exposed messages from Del Vecchio to the other accused, telling them there was an elderly couple in the forest and that they were a good hunt up until he sent them a message saying that he had the target. The court found that the messages were met with enthusiasm and approval by the co-accused, solidifying the legal principle of common purpose. Following the murders, the trio systemically emptied 734,000 rand from the couple's bank accounts using stolen gold credit card for shopping sprees, cash withdrawals, and buying Bitcoin. There was a meticulously orchestrated plan with a level of sophistication. One can only wonder what that experience was obtained. While the state relied on circumstantial evidence, the judge concluded the pieces of the puzzle fit together perfectly. Bit by bit, the evidence formed a mosaic. The court was satisfied all 3 accused acted together in killing the deceased. Still, after so many years, the incident itself and the aftermath of it have caused distress to the family. The spokesman described Rodney, 74, and Rachel, 63, as deeply loved and respected professionals, saying the family had not yet been able to mourn together in person. We haven't had a chance to gather together as a family because we were scattered internationally in the UK, US, and Australia, with some close friends in South Africa as well. Scumbags, one and all. And they'll be out of prison in 10 years. Yep. Gate McKenzie's multi-million rand trip, poorly planned, says the DAMP. Once again, the DA committing own goals. Instead of focusing on Pala Pala and the corruption of the president, the alleged corruption of the president, they're focused on their opposition. This is not going to go well for them. Democratic Alliance Member of Parliament Lee Potgieter said the Sports, Arts, and Culture Department's multi-million rand trip to the FIFA World Cup was poorly planned. Well, I think the strategy of the DA is poorly planned, and it's going to backfire on them. They never learn. This party never learns. They never, ever learn. They continue to insult and attack smaller parties when there are real fish to fry in South Africa. Meanwhile, this convicted criminal, court papers allege links between Malema and crime intelligence boss Feroz Khan. Oh, I hope this is true. I so hope this is true. Newly released court papers reveal claims of a covert relationship between Julius Malema and Feroz Khan. Alleged the pair worked together in efforts to remove a senior intelligence watchdog while exchanging sensitive information. This raised questions about whether political influence and state intelligence play a role in influencing certain decisions. The claims are contained in an affidavit by Shepo Nyato, an investigator for the Mshlangu Commission who is examining allegations of misconduct. The allegations are that there was an alleged 2021 effort to remove then Inspector General of Intelligence Isaac Dintwe. According to the affidavit, Khan enlisted Malema's help and through an intermediary supplied questions for the EFF to ask in Parliament. Investigators alleged questions were designed to trap Dintwe and undermine his position. Aha. Julius, the criminal, is being exposed. We got to make a song about Juju. We need a Juju song, man. We need a Juju song. Malema, convicted criminal. Yeah, convicted criminal. And he's striking back against those who are speaking out against him, trying to silence them with court cases. Julius Malema, Juju. Oh my goodness. Charles Nkula Kami says that Ramaphosa is in trouble. Yep, he could face arrest, he says. Former national chairman of the South African Communist Party has revealed that President Ramaphosa could potentially face arrest over certain allegations of misconduct. But he won't disclose the details, so this is just rumor. There's a situation where something may happen to see him being arrested. But that's it. So I'm sorry, Charles. We don't listen to commies who have no evidence. Just nonsense. Now, here's an interesting story that pretty much says everything I've been saying all along. So I'm going to reach out and see if I can't get an interview with these folks. AGOA in South African business, a dynamic alternative, Pete LaRue and Russell Lamberti. It's been all too common to put dramatic deterioration in the South African government's relationship with the United States down to misunderstanding, miscommunication, or lack of skillful negotiators. It's none of these. The reality is that Washington and Pretoria are deeply at odds with numerous mutually incompatible interests. Even the best diplomatic will in the world must reckon with this reality. What the ANC-dominated state regards as not just non-negotiable but vital, race restrictions on economic participation, extractive and socialist state apparatus, and anti-U.S. foreign policy alignment, Washington is no longer prepared to tolerate in pursuit of its own international agenda. Yep. It's against this backdrop that Sakaliga submitted a proposal in May to the United States Trade Representative on a way forward for the African Growth and Opportunity Act. However, South Africa's future eligibility under AGOA is precarious. AGOA requires the country to have established or continually be making progress toward a market economy, rule of law, lower trade barriers, poverty reduction, weeding out corruption, human rights, worker rights. But the problem is that these authors fail to mention that you must respect private property. They don't mention that. That's the most important there. Private property rights must be respected. You must encourage private property rights. And South Africa has violated the AGOA Act. They're not eligible, and they haven't been eligible since 2018. I will reach out to see if I can't get an interview with them. Well, Israel launched new strikes in southern Lebanon. This is not going to go well. Came a day after Israel and Iran pulled back from direct confrontation. The Israeli campaign against Lebanese militia Hezbollah has been an obstacle in U.S.-Iran peace talks. The Israeli military struck across southern Lebanon, testing the shaky 2-month ceasefire yet again. At least 8 people were killed and dozens more wounded in an attack on Tyre, one of southern Lebanon's largest cities. Wow. Look at that video. Apartment buildings. Well, it's a challenge in the Iran-U.S. talks. Trump says we're close to a deal, but both sides want to claim victory. It ain't going to work. You both can't win. For weeks, the parameters of a preliminary agreement to end the war between the United States and Iran have been clear to its negotiators. The hang-up, how to devise a deal so each side can claim a win. Washington and Tehran, both neither fully victorious nor completely defeated in the war, badly want a deal. But they also need something they can present as favorable to the hawks and hardliners back home. Indeed, I want the complete destruction of the theocracy and the terrorist regime in Tehran. That's what I want. So call me a hawk. A drone rescued 2 U.S. crew members from an Apache helicopter that crashed in the Strait of Hormuz. An uncrewed drone found and rescued 2 crew members after an Apache helicopter went down off the coast of Oman. U.S. Central Command spokesman Captain Timothy Hawkins said a U.S. Navy surface drone found and rescued the crew from the water. The U.S.'s 5th Fleet's Task Force 59 is Navy's first operational AI and drone task force. Task Force 59 was launched in 2020, includes uncrewed vessels and drones. It's the first Navy task force of its kind. Soldiers were safely rescued with approximately 2 hours and are in stable condition. The cause of the incident is under investigation. Loss of the aircraft marks the first loss of an Apache since the conflict with Iran began. It comes after hostilities in the region escalated over the weekend. The pilots are fine. New York Times, the first report that the helicopter went down on Monday. U.S. has lost dozens of aircraft, including at least 5 fighter jets, 7 Strata, a tanker, refueling, and a search and rescue helicopter with more than 24 drones. We haven't lost dozens of aircraft. That's 5 and 7 is 12. And a search and rescue helicopter, that's 13. That's not dozens. I'm sorry, CNN, that's not dozens. Drones are not aircraft. The drones are drones. We've lost 13 aircraft. One from a missile strike that took out 5 aircraft at an airfield. But none have been lost in combat. A drone boat rescues that downed crew. There's an Apache firing a Hellfire missile. President Xi concludes his North Korea summit after traveling to his fellow communist totalitarian dictator next door, pudgy Kim Jong-un, met him. Pyongyang continues producing nuclear material capable of making 10 to 20 nuclear weapons a year, South Korean President Lee Jae-myung said. He returned to Beijing on the afternoon of today with a 2-day visit to North Korea behind him. His trip to Pyongyang, the first in 7 years, took place amid growing speculation about Pyongyang's potential shift from its longtime reliance on Beijing, its dominant trading partner, as it deepened diplomatic and economic and military cooperation with Moscow. So Xi Jinping went to there to ensure that the North Koreans didn't slide into the orbit of the Russians. The European Union will ban travel to Europe for Russians who fought against Ukraine. This is a violation of norms. The people who fought in Ukraine aren't necessarily guilty of crimes, and they're conscripts. So this conduct by the European Union shows what totalitarian fascists they are. Anyone who's fought on Russia's side in the war against Ukraine will be barred from entering European Union countries under the organization's just announced 21st sanctions package against Moscow. It hits 1.5 million Russian military veterans. We propose to ban from entry into Europe anyone who served in the Russian armed forces since the beginning of the war. So if you served in the Russian forces in Vladivostok on the other side of the world, you will be now banned from entering European countries. This is a violation of international norms. These are fascist totalitarians in Brussels. Only people who've been convicted of war crimes or crimes against humanity should be barred. Serving in the military is not a bar. These are bureaucrats out of control. These are wusses who've never put on a uniform, who don't understand what it means. And this is shocking to say the least. Shocking to say the least. Russians continue to travel to Europe for business pleasure. More than 670,000 Schengen visa applications in 2025, an 8% increase from the year before. Over 477,000 tourist visas were granted to Russian nationals. France, Italy, and Spain account for 3/4 of them, so obviously they're holidaymakers. The U.S. has demanded an immediate ceasefire in Ukraine at the UN Security Council. United States envoy to the United Nations, Dan Negura, said Moscow cannot achieve its goals on the battlefield and that escalation will not change that. Speaking at the UN Security Council, Negura said that Washington urges both sides to immediately agree to a comprehensive ceasefire, leading to a negotiated end of the war. Russian invasion of Ukraine has been a strategic disaster. Its oil refineries are ablaze, and Russia is now losing 5,000 people a month. Moscow cannot achieve its goals on the battlefield. Escalation will not change that and only risk making the disaster worse. The war must end now. Enough is enough. Imagine this. The Soviet Union defeated the Nazis, but the Russians can't defeat Ukraine? It's comical. It's comical. The National Health Service emergency rooms in England are linked to 300 deaths a week. 300 a week. That's 1,200 people a month. That's 15,000 unnecessary deaths per year because people are waiting. The so-called social health, which is such prized by the ANC, more than 300 people per week in English emergency rooms in 2025 in connection with excessive wait times have died, according to the Royal College of Emergency Medicine. The College's State of Emergency Medicine in England report published Monday estimates 15,860 excess deaths last year were associated with prolonged waits in English emergency departments, the equivalent of 305 lives lost every week. Wow. The report found that nearly 500,000 patients waited 24 hours or more in English emergency departments last year, an increase of 150,000 patients over just 3 years. I mean, this is what social medicine gets you. Death. 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 As emergency doctors, heartbreaking, the patients arrive in emergency departments in their time of need, and we can't do our jobs properly because we are full. To make things worse, we're being asked to focus on the least sick patients to try and marginally improve headline statistics rather than those who need our services most. Yep, they neglect the people most in need of care so that they have good stats because they're scumbags. Yep, oh, let's get social health care. It's a wonderful thing. It's not. A Sudanese man arrested for an attempted murder in a Belfast knife attack. We woken up to truly barbaric footage on the street of Belfast, said Reform's Shadow Chancellor Robert Gendrick. The police service in Northern Ireland said that a Sudanese man has been arrested on suspicion of attempted murder after a knife attack in Belfast left another man seriously injured, what authorities have described as a critical incident. In the footage shared widely online, a black male is seen repeatedly stabbing a blood-drenched white man, cutting into his hand and eyes and shouting, into his head and eyes and shouting in what appears to be a foreign language as horrified members of the public shout for help while screaming at the attackers trying to cut his head off. Bystanders intervened, trying to prise the attacker off before police arrived. Police initially said the suspect was believed to be Somalian, but later confirmed the man is Sudanese. Arrested on suspicion of attempted murder following serious assault involving a knife in the Kinmead area. 10:30 p.m. Injured man in his 40s was taken to hospital, is described as serious. Left the man with significant injuries to his face, neck, and back. Keir Starmer said the horrific attack in Belfast last night is sickening. What happened last night in Belfast is horrific, said Nigel. The authorities must reveal the identity and status of the attack immediately. The public are entitled to the truth. Community's in shock. Once again, why are Sudanese in Belfast? Belfast is Irish, not Sudanese. And this is what we get. The attack on our culture, our civilization, by letting people who have no interest in our values and our norms bring their barbaric ways from their barbaric homes. This is the reward we get. The world's largest banks have pledged $906 billion to fossil fuel companies in an unfathomable increase. JP Morgan Chase leads 65 banks making decisions incompatible with restraining rising temperatures, say researchers. Well, I don't really care what The Guardian has to say. Thank you to the banks who are expanding energy production to ease the pain for the world which is consuming energy. JP Morgan, the world's leading financier of fossil fuels, $58 billion last year, up 13%. Bank of America committed the second largest amount of fossil fuels last year, followed by Japanese banks. And yeah, there you go. Well done. You can't even be safe in your own home because these people. And then, you know, it's like I listened to this. What was it? Not Carl Niehaus. Max Dupree, in his interview about his shitty new book, said that, you know, this is a conspiracy theory about replacement theory in America. Conspiracy theory. In 1960, 89% of Americans were white. Today, 75% are white. And if you listen to the stories about Hispanics not being white, which I don't listen to, then only 64% of Americans are white. There is replacement theory. There's a goal to replace people. That's not a myth. That's not a. I mean, how can you, in the midst of that, ignore the facts, the reality? Yeah. He said the same thing about Henry Novak, but the police were culpable in that murder. They should be charged. A 6.1 magnitude earthquake hits offshore of Cuba, shaking buildings in Havana. Look at all those wires hanging there. What a disaster. 6.1 magnitude earthquake struck near western Cuba Monday, shaking buildings. No injuries or damage were reported. Struck at a depth of 6 miles in waters just west of the capital, according to the U.S. Geological Survey. Everyone's okay. The people on the street are a little bit scared. President Trump says U.S. is in the final throes of Iran deal, which I think is going to go poorly. We'll see. President credited U.S. blockade of Iranian ports for pushing Iran toward a deal as negotiations enter a final phase. Trump made the remarks to reporters at JFK International Airport, with his comments coming after Iran and Israel stepped back from their most direct military confrontation since April ceasefire. Yep. A federal judge blocks Trump's $100,000 fee for H-1B visas. A federal judge on Monday struck down President Trump's $100,000 fee for visas. U.S. District Judge Leo Sorokin in Massachusetts concluded the fee was an unlawful tax that Congress did not authorize. Here, the substance and application of $100,000 payment revealed that it's a tax regardless of what the payment is called. The judge cited Supreme Court's decision upholding Obama's mandate for individuals to buy health insurance, in which the High Court concluded that it was a lawful exercise of Congress' authority to tax. The payment is not a penalty. Attorneys for Trump argued the judge had no authority to decide a visa fee dispute. They argued the action was not reviewed because the president has unchecked authority to limit immigration. Yep. Lawsuit was filed by 20 Democratic states. Trump fuels election fraud claims in California. President and his allies step up attacks on the state's vote counting process, reviving type allegations they made in 2020. Well, I mean, what do you expect when magically votes are found and people are eliminated from races? Even before former reality star Spencer Pratt missed the cut for the November runoff against incumbent Mayor Karen Bass, he was losing ground in post-election day tallies in Los Angeles. Of course, magically arriving votes. Yep. California's laborious vote counting process gives Trump and his supporters plenty of time to make such claims because state officials don't provide final election results quickly. Majority of California voters cast their ballots by mail. State law. That's actually a lie. See, that's a lie. That's a lie. If the majority of voters cast their ballots by mail, how did 60% of the votes get counted on election night? How is that possible? 58% of the ballots were counted on election night statewide. In Los Angeles, it was 60%. How is that possible if the majority of Californians vote by mail? See, this is another lie. The Wall Street Journal lying to you. The majority of Californians don't vote by mail. If they did, then it would have been over 50% of the ballots already counted. Exactly. 24,000 ballots came in, not a single one for Pratt. That's impossible. That's absolutely impossible. Yep. And here is this lunatic. So Los Angeles will continue to sink into the Pacific. She'll probably beat Bass, who's a useless loser. Progressive Nitya Raman advances to November runoff against Los Angeles. It's Karen Bass. The U.S. expanded a list of Chinese tech companies it says is assisting Beijing's military. Some well-known companies have been added to the annually updated list, which designates them as U.S. national security risk, including Alibaba and Baidu. Wow. Alibaba's been added to the list. Alibaba is a Chinese conglomerate with e-commerce, cloud computing, and other businesses in the U.S., while Baidu is a Chinese internet search and artificial intelligence company. Wow. Interesting. Airline profits reportedly fell 50% this year as jet fuel prices spiked. American Airlines suspended some of its routes amid rising fuel costs, while Spirit shut down last month. The global airline industry will see profits halve this year amid rising jet fuel prices triggered by the U.S.-Iran conflict. Willie Walsh, Director General of the International Air Transport Association, recounted the industry's challenges since the pandemic in his report. No sooner did we put COVID behind us than we faced airspace supply chain failures, war in Ukraine, geopolitical tensions. Well, yeah, it's crazy. According to data from IATA, the International Aviation Transit Association, the global jet fuel price was around $100 per barrel before the conflict, and now it's at $200. Fuel costs were up 78% from a year ago. The Washington Times reports that nearly 50% of Americans say USC event at the White House is tarnishing the image. Nearly half of Americans say hosting a UFC fight at the White House tarnishes the image of the People's House. The poll conducted by the Sharkey Institute and Stillman School of Business for Sport Management at Seton Hall comes days before the president hosts a UFC fight on the White House lawn on Flag Day, which also is his 80th birthday, and it's the Army's birthday. The poll found that 46% of Americans say the event negatively affects the public image, while 22% say it positively affects it. Among self-described UFC fans, 29% say the event negatively affects White House image, compared to 40% who think it's positive. Well, I really don't care. I won't be watching it. It's not my cup of tea. Tonight I'll be watching the Vegas Golden Knights hopefully extend their lead, the 2-1 series lead over Carolina, in what's been the most amazing Stanley Cup Finals in living memory. This is incredible. In the last game, Carolina was trailing 4-0 in the third period and scored 4 unanswered goals to tie the game. Unbelievable. Went to double overtime before Vegas won, but not because they hit the puck in, but because it went off the skate of the Carolina goalie, who had done a brilliant job up to that point, filling in for the guy who was taken out of the game. Yes, the pride flags are what tarnished the White House. Thank you, Heidi. I agree. Woman is so far left, she beats Bass. LA is gone. Yep. Exactly. That's a product of being years of a sanctuary city. Los Angeles is gone. This is why I don't go to the Sevens tournament. The idiots that moved it to Los Angeles from Las Vegas, they ruined it. They ruined it. I mean, a smarter move would have been to move it to someplace more appealing, like Seattle. I mean, even Seattle's a leftist city. Putting the Sevens in Seattle would have been better, but putting it back in San Francisco. San Francisco would have been a better move if you had to put it on the West Coast. Quite frankly, I think the Sevens should have been moved to Salt Lake City. That's where they should have put them. That would have been smart. Why will they respond to the Apache crash? It was a crash. We don't know what caused it. It's probably a mechanical failure. There's nothing to respond to. It wasn't shot down. There's nothing to respond to. That's the news for today, folks. Be sure to hit the like button. Wow, we haven't even hit 1,000 views yet. That's a shocker. What's going on there? Larry Burstein has a Juju song. Yep. Keep counting until they get the correct numbers. Exactly. Pro Vip Boy says Iran knows how to land it and Trump appears not to get it. I think you're right about that. Or maybe he's just got a deadline and we are not there yet. Suzanne, I'm of Irish descent and sad to see such a rich ancient culture being destroyed. Oh, it absolutely is destroyed. Have you seen the images of Dublin? If they're not Irish, it's the third world. Yeah, I didn't happen to hear about them shutting down. He lost both eyes. Oh my God. Oh my God, I didn't hear that. Let's look more up about that attack. All they say is seriously injured. They don't give you details. And of course, politicians are calling for calm. Yeah, it's okay to murder white people in Ireland. Yeah, political and police leaders in Belfast call for calm. Yeah, it's okay to murder white people in Ireland. But, you know, now we have to have calm. He entered the UK in 2023 as granted refugee status. There you go. Granted refugee status. Illegal refugee. You're not a refugee when you arrive in a country. You're an asylum seeker. Illegally granted refugee status. First Minister Michelle O'Neill said people are deeply distressed following the incident, but adds, don't let other people who don't care about here incite hatred and fear. Oh, shut up, you turd. Deputy First Minister Emma Little Pengelly says calm is needed in the disorder. Yeah, okay. Murder more white people, rape more white girls, enslave more white girls while you're afraid of being called a racist. Yeah, that's fine. Enslave more Irish, murder more Irish, steal their homes, rape them, murder, pillage them. It's okay. You know, don't get excited. Don't be angry about it. It's okay. It's you don't matter. You people don't matter. It's your country, but you don't matter. My goodness, unbelievable. Unbelievable. Yeah, he was at the NBA Finals last night. I didn't see the video. How do you see the video? Was it on X? I haven't seen it. It won't be on YouTube, that's for darn sure. Oh my God. Oh my God. Nobody's intervening. It's important that people like Rupert Lowe, Elon Musk, and I don't use this horrific Belfast incident whip up hostility against minorities, migrants. Rupert Lowe.
Good morning, everybody. I've just watched the most horrific footage from Northern Ireland, from Belfast, of one man on top of another with a knife, obviously screaming and shouting. Some patriots effectively attempted to intervene. I don't know what has happened to the victim, but it didn't look good.
No, it didn't look good. Look at all these leftists defending this shit. A white man tried to behead a migrant in Belfast thanks to Tommy Robinson radicalization. They're showing the video of the man being, unbelievable. Wow. Why are people jumping to the assumption that the attack in Belfast is foreign? We have no facts to back it up. Lost her grandchildren. I'm sorry to hear that. Well, first off, any of the idiots who called him Somalian don't know what a Somalian looks like. The guy's clearly not Somalian, looking at him. Here's Katie Hopkins.
Breaking news here on Planet Crazy, here in batshit bonkers Britain. First up, the BBC reports that a man was taken to hospital with serious injuries after a stabbing in Belfast. Let me just correct that for you, BBC, shall I? A white man is in hospital with life-threatening injuries because a stabby black illegal tried to chop his head off in the street with a small knife. He was sawing at the man's neck as the man was groaning, and now he's in hospital. A woman who witnessed the attack had to be taken to hospital herself because she was in deep shock at seeing such a horror on the streets of Northern Ireland. In other news, over in America, a referee from Somalia has been banned entry, his name Omar Artan, because of Trump's excellent immigration policy. And you may say, oh, that poor referee, oh, that poor man. Yes, but here's how great immigration policy works. You may keep out a couple of good guys, but what you also keep out is the stabby bastards who come here to try and chop our heads off.
Yep. Katie Hopkins. Yep.
Waking up to watch the footage of a migrant sitting on top of a man trying to cut his head off in the middle of the street in Belfast is sadly no surprise at all. Now, you see, we've imported these fucking animals, these inbred pieces of pig shit that...
Okay, I'll stop that there. I can see where that's going. Yep. Road closures in Belfast, 7 p.m. Well, we're getting close to 7 p.m. That's in 8 minutes. No, it's in an hour. Yeah, it's an hour. There are 26 road closures because of mass protests coming in Belfast tonight. Belfast's paramilitaries bailed tonight protesting against the attempted beheading of a Belfast man by a Sudanese. In the face of this, expect weapon to be more... Okay, well, so let's see what happens here. They're calling it a stabbing incident. Critical conditions, horrendous injuries. Perpetrator was a man in his 30s from not Somalia. Why did they get the idea of Somalia? It wasn't Somalia. So this is good.
Just so we're clear, if a foreigner comes to your country and demands that you accept their culture as your culture, or demands that you change your beliefs, that is not a foreigner. That is not an immigrant. What that is an invader.
Spot on. Yep. Benny Johnson.
The whole purpose of a republic is that you are governed by the consent of the people, meaning you're accountable, your policies, if they are unpopular.
Don't forget the British soldier was beheaded
for the
outside
body
British barracks
politic,
in London a
get
few years ago.
corrected, and the people ultimately, over time, get what they want, except for unlimited migration from the third world.
It's Benny Johnson. Jonathan Buckley says, no one who warned about illegal immigration and open borders wanted to see what happened last night in Belfast. But let me be clear, those in political office and the media who dismissed us and labeled us racist and far right have nowhere to hide.
Thank you, Speaker. This morning, we woke to one of the most graphic and sickening videos imaginable. The violence on display in North Belfast was utterly reprehensible. A man pinned helplessly to the ground while being brutally stabbed and slashed in live time on a street in Belfast. The sheer savagery of the attack is something that should never be witnessed on the streets of any civilised society, least of all in North Belfast. Those scenes of an attempted beheading will stay with the people of Northern Ireland and far beyond.
Yeah, well, the Irish murdered British soldiers for decades in the Troubles, and they tolerate this nonsense. The invader who tried to behead someone in Belfast last night traveled from Sudan to Paris, flew from Paris to Dublin, then got on a bus from Dublin to Belfast on the 10th of February 2023 and claimed asylum. The British government let him stay, and now this. Blood on their hands. Exactly right. Exactly right. That's not an asylum seeker. That's not a refugee. That's a fraud. The red flag should have been he flew to Paris, then stay in Paris. Then he flew to Dublin, another country, another safe haven. Then went to the UK because of their backwards, asinine, anti-British immigration policy. This hideous looking wench. This is pathetic. The This is a woman who posted a video after the horrific attack defending the migrant. In the video last week, she states white Irish men don't like immigrants because they feel sexually inferior to them. And this is who we let vote. Wow. Why won't this go to full screen? This is insane, these people.
Black men, and I've done a lot of research on the alt-right pipeline and like the alt-right and stuff, and it's so sick and twisted. You just feel like you're physically inferior and sometimes sexually inferior to black men.
Look, sweetheart, the fact that no white man wants you doesn't make them sexually inferior to black men. It means they have good judgment. They have good judgment.
My name's Reverend Chris Wyatt, and today I'm deeply shocked and saddened, almost tearful, at what I saw on X and various other footage this morning coming out from Belfast of a black African man straddled on top of a white man and potentially trying to cut his head off, trying to decapitate him, and people managed to stop him. And the guy that had the knife attack on his throat is in hospital now. And you know, no sooner have we dealt with the issue of Henry Novak with two-tier policing, two-tier justice, equity, diversity and inclusion, which means equity means fairness goes to those of a different religion or of a different colour than to white. Now, let's not forget the CPS. If it wasn't for Robert Jenrick that exposed it, the CPS, I believe they tried to put through legislation that basically would give people of migrants, would give the court would give them leniency over a white person. This is unbelievable. And what is the cause of all this? And it is basically open border, mass migration, or the illegal migration. They're not just coming in on small boats, they're coming in on lorries and all other areas as well. And Ireland is quite specifically seeing the front end of this, probably more so than we are here in Britain. But it's just like, when is enough enough? You know, we have the grooming gang scandal.
Yep. Hundreds of thousands.
The police wouldn't deal with it because it would be deemed racist. So mass injustice, mass industrial rape went on our young, on our girls, on our young women, and even potentially some of those had been murdered. But nothing was done about it because it was deemed racist. Well, what has happened to our nation? And we have politicians like the three monkeys. The politicians put their hands over their eyes. We don't want to see any evil that's going on that we have brought upon this nation. Fingers in their ears. We don't want to hear what evil we have brought upon this nation. And they won't speak out against injustice. And neither will we speak about the evil that's been going on in this nation. This nation is at breaking point. I don't condone violence of any kind, obviously I don't. And don't ever quote me thinking that I do, because I don't. But the potential for civil unrest
is huge.
Is now really, really high.
Yep, UK's at the boiling point.
If there was a DEFCON, I'd say we're like nearly right to the top. People have had enough of this. And we had enough of being gaslit by our politicians that somehow we're the ones that are in the wrong. Now, I need to make this clear as well. And I'm going to say something that's actually really quite disturbing. And I need to say this because it has to be said. Now, in the Southport riots, which our Prime Minister came out and said, this was done by the far right and we shall have the full force of the law against them. Something that you may not know, and please forgive me if this disturbs you, but we need to hear this, is that one of those girls that were murdered in Southport basically had her head nearly cut off, all right, decapitated. That's why people were so enraged with anger. That's why people were on the streets doing what they were doing, because they are tired of people around them and politicians not listening to their plight, not listening to their cry. And then to the Prime Minister within hours to go on TV and say that this was done by the far right. Again, see no evil, hear no evil, speak no evil. We are so tired of politicians that do not stand up for the people of this nation.
Yep, he's right. He's right. He's 100% correct. Yep, and it's in America too. And if you...
My name's Reverend Chris
Chris what?
My name's Reverend Chris Wickland.
Wickland, okay. Oh, that's him. Okay. Yep, Reverend Wickland is right. God, please help the innocent and let the people stand up, these brutal third world murderers. Yep. Britain has already fallen, folks. Britain has already fallen. It's not going to fall. It fell. It fell 20 years ago. Oh, Tommy Robinson will be at the forefront of this, no doubt. Vex Vicar. Yep. I was on GB News.
Well, my name's Reverend Chris Wicklands. I run a church called Living Word Church in Titchfield. And I'm here today as a man of the cloth because I stand up for justice. I stand up for truth. And what we've seen today is not justice and not truth.
Yep. Yep. Zero stories were on about Henry when this thing broke, the story for a few days on AP, on PBS, New York Times, National Public Radio, or the Wall Street Journal. Yep. Wow. The Vex Vicar. What do you say, folks? What do you say? What do you say? It's insane. Oh my goodness. I got to do a screen thing, answer this question. Okay, how many times do I have to do this crap? Stairs. Oh, come on. Please try again. I've done every picture it's in. This is bullshit. Frickin' YouTube. I'm trying to get an address here. Try again. Bus. 2. Done. All matching images. Bus. 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 Are we done yet? Bus. Bus. How many times I gotta do this? Okay, that's it. Finally. Just to get email address. Okay, there we go. Got it. Copy email address. Got it. Just trying to get his email address. Okay. Yep. Pedestrian zones are 1 by 1 block with cement pillars. Yeah, I know, Frey. It's terrible. It's not how it was when I was there. Yeah, the Fußgängerzone were open. You could walk in them. Hope you're well. This is the greatest weapon of the left to destroy Western countries and conservative values. The guy on TikTok threatened to slaughter Afrikaners if we don't leave by June 30th. He deleted the other video of him commanding. I haven't seen that. Golem Mzanzi. That's we pray for the rapture. Okay, are you safe? Okay, the world is crazy. South Africa's been deported from Ireland. That's true, Neil. I've actually interviewed a family that was being deported from Ireland, and they've come here as refugees. Yep, 100%. All right, so how are we doing out there, folks? Eric Draven says, thank you for the work you do. I try. It's not easy. This whole situation in Northern Ireland. But the Henry Novak was just the one that took the case because the state agents are the ones responsible for his death. They should be charged with negligent manslaughter or homicide, whatever the correct term is. Yep. The police are responsible. And because of the altar of political correctness, and they don't care. It's all about political correctness. Yep. June 30th is coming, folks. June 30th is coming. We'll see what happens. June 30th is coming. It's just around the corner. Wow. Beautiful song. What's that, Heidi? What is she talking about? All right, now for something a little lighter, folks. Would you want something a little bit lighter after all that hectic stuff? Oh, the Japanese have had enough of that. They've banned all this nonsense. They're kicking people out. Yep. CC Wayne's song. Okay. Yeah, we should do something lighthearted here. Let me see what we can find here. Something a little bit lighter than that. How about this one?
Through the dust of the veldt, where the wind does moan, we've carved out a life in the soil and stone. They call us names, but we stand up tall. For faith and family, we've weathered it all. Raise the flag high, let the colors fly. With our hands we've built under God's own sky. No insult can break what's forged in our soul. Africa and her heart steadfast and whole. They say we're dogs, they say we're small, but we've built empires and answered the call. With the earth in our palms and the sun on our backs, we march to the rhythm of unbroken tracks. Through the storms and strife we hold the line. The roots run deep like the old oak spine. Pride in our spirit, love in our veins. The faith of our fathers forever remains. Raise the flag high, let the colors fly. With our hands we've built under God's own sky. No insult can break what's forged in our soul. Africa and her heart steadfast and whole. Through the years and miles we've walked this road, bearing the burdens, carrying the load. But the light of our fire, it will never fade. For the strength of our people will never be swayed.
Been a while since I played that one. Afrikaner Heart. Yeah, been a while since I played that one. Yep. Let me see what else we got here. Looking for something else here. Something a little bit lighter than that. remember when they made that frickin' thing that I died in a car accident. Remember that? This one's good. Oh yeah.
Colonel Chris ain't dead.
y'all got it twisted. Rumors spread fast, but the truth, y'all missed it. Platinum hair shining, yeah, he's still here. Dropping facts on air, make the trolls disappear. Fake news flying, but the man's still alive. Burning lies down, watch the truth revive. Smacking down nonsense, sharper than a knife. Colonel Chris out here, living his best life. Fake news flying, but the man's still alive. Burning lies down, watch the truth revive. Smacking down nonsense, sharper than a knife. Colonel Chris out here, living his best life. Crash, nah, he cruising top down, no dent. Internet wild, but the truth's well spent. Smoking out the phonies, fire in his veins. Running through the static, breaking all chains. They tried to bury him, but forgot it, he's a seed. Roots run deep and he grows at speed. Microphone assassin, taking down schemes. Colonel Chris living in your nightmares and dreams. Perish, nah, he rebirthed on the mic. Spitting so raw, turn your dark to light. Platinum like his hair, shining in the storm. Fake news crumble, real truth reborn. Fake news flying, but the man's still alive. Burning lies down, watch the truth revive. Smacking down nonsense, sharper than a knife. Colonel Chris out here, living his best life. Fake news flying, but the man's still alive. Burning lies down, watch the truth revive. Smacking down nonsense, sharper than a knife. Colonel Chris out here, living his best life.
Oh yeah. Remember that? Some Indians generated some AI. It said I died in a traffic accident in South Africa and I was in America. Oh, you gotta love it. Well, here's one. This will lighten the mood. You guys ready for this one? Are you ready for this one? I know people are leaving, but don't leave. You ready for this one? You're gonna enjoy this one. Car guards in the USA. Yeah. Car guards in the USA. Radio Afterlife. DJ Silver Eagle coming at you live from Central Pennsylvania. Oh yeah. Listen to the horns.
From Jersey to Jersey, Pretoria to Tennessee, back up the bucky man. The car guards arrive. Ba-da-da-da-da. They cross the ocean with a suitcase dream, escaping blackout nights and a failing scheme. Touchdown wide-eyed under neon glow. Yeah, mean the lights stay on all night long. From Cape Town flats to the Midwest snow. Learning fast where the cold winds blow. No more generators rattling in the dark. Now every street light shining in the park. Strong percussion rolling like the train of fate. New great trek through the departure gate. People mock them back across the sea, but now they live in large in Tennessee. VK laugh and point the finger. Just car guard, she say with vigor. Simple people, no big degree, but the hustle talk louder than pedigree. Car guards in the USA, working hard every night and day. From the bright fire to the interstate, building new dreams in another state. Car guards in the USA, one section make the whole world sway. Skip to right past the FEMA line, now they sipping sweet tea, feeling fine. Tents would be the scene, rows of canvas on the TV screen, but them stories fade when the truth arrives. South Africans out there thriving alive. Apartments first, then houses neat. Pick up trucks parked down the street. Kids in school and bills all paid. Fresh new roots begin to get laid. More mises dancing at the cookout flame, trying hard to pronounce Chick-fil-A names. Robots now are traffic lights, not little gadgets blinking at night. Bright smoke drifting through the air, neighbors asking what you're cooking there. Biltong words and reggae beat, bassline rolling down the street. Backies become pickup trucks, still complaining about bad road luck. But compared to potholes back in Jersey town, the smooth highway never let them down. Car guards in the USA, turning struggle into better days. Laughing loud while the critics moan, making foreign doctors, welders, coders too. Farmers learning something new. Not everybody drove the tractor line, despite what papers try to find. Some clean cars and guarded malls, some answered business office calls, but every one of them came to survive, and now they're watching dreams arise. Guards in the USA, rhythm of the new great track today. From Deville to Arkansas, still got boy rhythm in the heart. Yeah, car guards in the USA, hear the brass band proudly play. They said the migrants wouldn't last, now the car guards getting the last laugh. Funny thing about survival, boss, never underestimate the people who know how to hustle.
Car guards in the USA. Yeah, car guards in the USA. Whew, that's one of my recent favorites. That one doesn't show up in my thing. I wonder where it's at. Wherever I got that at. Let me see. Oh, there it is. Trump opened the door. Oh, that's why. It's Pretoria Stones. It's got this stupid name on here. It's this one, I think.
Down in Pretoria, they were picking another fight, throwing stones at Washington on the evening news each night. They mocked the orange man from podiums and floors, didn't know they'd push him till he opened up the door. Now there's suitcases lined up from Durban to the Cape, families making plans that they swore they'd never make. 10,000 more leaving, saying we can't do this anymore. Funny how the backlash came when Trump opened the door. Trump opened the door, swung that old barn wide. Now the planes keep lifting off on another midnight ride. Human capital's fleeing, tax base receding, the GNU's bleeding right down to the core. What's Solomola gonna tell the people next? Can Cyril blame Afrikaners for another train wreck? And Fikele keeps talking like he's settling a score, while the whole damn country's changing, 'cause Trump opened the door. They sold the rainbow dream like salvation on TV, but too many graves were dug beside the poverty. Gangsters run the corners, corruption fills the halls, and state neglect keeps echoing through abandoned factory walls. Cyril says don't worry now, tomorrow's looking bright, but candles still replace the power nearly every night. No white men in management, they brag from marble floors, but black poverty ain't shrinking like they promised years before. Trump opened the door, swung that old barn wide. Now the farmers and the teachers all got one foot outside. Human capital's fleeing, tax base receding, the GNU's bleeding right down And Fikele keeps counting ghosts nobody's looking for, while the future packs its bags, 'cause Trump opened the door. How much can the gangsters in Parliament steal? How many fake fortunes dressed up as the real? How many young people gotta lose all hope before the whole damn nation runs clean out of rope? Mama says the country used to feel alive. Now every goodbye cuts like a knife. One more family headed somewhere north. One more flag folded up on the porch. Trump opened the door and the flood came through. For the tired and forgotten who just needed something new. South Africans fleeing the ANC, reeling things going from bad to worse way down south. The Rainbow Nation promise faded into pain. Too many mothers crying in the pouring rain. What comes next? Lord, nobody's sure. But history took a hard left turn the day Trump opened the door. Yeah, history took a hard left turn the day Trump opened the door.
All right, Trump opened the door. Breaking news, folks. This is a question about how's the U.S. going to respond. This broke 7-8 minutes ago now while I was waiting for that song to finish. Debbie says, people and friends contact me so they cannot apply and take question or gives forbidden error. Well, either they are not in South Africa or the server is down. So there's nothing they can do except let us know. So there you go. All right, breaking news. President Trump has said that the helicopter that went down, the Apache, was shot down by Iran. This is bad news, folks. This is bad news. U.S. President Donald Trump said the U.S. military informed him that Iran shot down an Army Apache helicopter that went down off the coast of Oman, adding that the U.S. must of necessity respond to this attack. I've just been informed by a great military that last night the Iranians shot down one of our highly sophisticated Apache helicopters while patrolling over the Strait of Hormuz. There were 2 pilots involved. Both are safe and uninjured. Nevertheless, the United States must of necessity respond to this attack, he said on Truth Social within the last few minutes. The U.S. uncrewed drone boat rescued 2 criminals. Incident marked the first loss on Apache since conflict began. Iran, which is supposedly in a ceasefire with the United States, has now violated the ceasefire. It's on like Donkey Kong. It's time to resume the war. This is what's going to happen. Trump will authorize severe attacks against the Iranian terror state. Yep. That's they we're near a deal, we're not near a deal. That's it. It's war. It's on, folks. It's on. Yep. There you go. It's over. Yeah, that just broke 9 minutes ago now. No, Apaches aren't 30 years old now, Neil. The Apaches were designed in the 1970s, fielded in the 1980s, and they're over 40 years old as a platform in service. However, the Apaches flying there, you're not 30 years old. Many of the Apaches have been replaced throughout their 30-year history or 40-year history. So I know. I was in Aviation Brigade S2 with 2 attack battalions, 2nd Battalion 227 Aviation, 3rd Battalion 227 Aviation of Apache helicopters, H-64s. Yep. And we now have Apache longbows. These are Apache longbows, which weren't fielded until the late 1990s. The Apache longbow came into service in the early 2000s. So, yep. Well, watch for the price of oil to spike now. Let's go check on the price of oil. Let's see the spot price for oil right now. Today. Let's see if it's spiking on this news. It's been 9 minutes. Do I have a live trading? I'm looking for a live trading platform. Yeah, it just shot up. The price had dropped down. Yep. The price had dropped down to below about $86 a barrel. It shot back up over 90 in the last few minutes. Yep. $4 a barrel. It's just shot up. Yep. Yep. Brent crude. Yeah, oil price. It's up according to this chart. No, sorry, it's saying it's down, not up. It's down to 88, minus 3%. My bad. Misread that chart. Yep. So, oilprice.com. Watch for it to shoot up, though. Yep. All right, be sure to hit the like button, folks, if you haven't done already. Iran was never interested in... No, they weren't, Karen. They're never. They're just delaying. They're just delaying. I think they're delaying so they can build a nuclear weapon. I think that's what's actually happening. I think they want to delay until they can build a nuclear weapon. Yep, that's what it's all about. Brent crude 85. That's cheap, Bushwookie. It was 79 when the conflict started. All our doggies are leaving this weekend because we had to leave the farm safety and we moved to. Now we can't keep them. Yeah, it is the first Apache being shot down, Bonnie. You're correct. Yeah, the Apache platform is 40 years old, but there's Apaches doesn't mean that aircraft is that old. Now, the B-52s flying, many of them are 60 years or older. That's a statement of fact. In fact, let me see what the newest B-52. Newest in-service B-52 was built in... The newest operational B-52 Stratofortress in the U.S. Air Force was built in October 1962. It's over 60 years ago. There's 76 remaining airframes. It's part of the Air Force's Global Strike Command. Was the newest in-service H-64 built. Okay, let's see. Maybe he's right about 30 years. We'll see. It was introduced in U.S. Army service April 1986 is when it came into service, but the newest ones were just fielded. The longbow, which I said late 90s, 1997 was when it was fielded until 2013. But now the H-64 Echo is the one we have, the Guardian, and that one's been fielded since 2016, 2017. So, yep. So, Hughes helicopters from 75 to 84. They were fielded by McDonnell Douglas in 87. They had it till 97 when the longbow came in, and it's been Boeing since 97 fielding them. Yep. And let's see what they say. How many of them? I'm looking for a number here. Over 2,700 Apaches have been delivered to the U.S. Army and 18 international partners. Yep. 864, 20th century, 21st century. On February 21st, 2013, the 1st Battalion 229 Aviation at Lewis McChord became the first U.S. Army to field the AH-64 Echo Apache Guardian, 24 of which were received by mid-2013. Yep. In 2014, began fielding with the Army Reserve and National Guard. In April of 2025, Pete Hegseth said stop procuring obsolete systems or cancel, scale back ineffective, redundant systems, including an aircraft. The Army said it would stop procuring H-64s. Well, that's stupid. There's nothing to replace H-64. Hegseth needs an enema. This guy is, I don't know what his deal is with defense. He's got his head up his ass. Yep. Anyway, yep. So they're in service with Australia, Egypt, Greece, India, Indonesia, Israel, Japan, Kuwait, Morocco, the Netherlands, Poland, Qatar, Saudi Arabia, Singapore, South Korea, Taiwan, UAE, UK, and the United States. It's an incredible aircraft. Just such an incredible aircraft. H-64. Brilliant stuff. So, I've got to make another video about what's going to happen in South Africa on June 30th. Yep. Apparently Rod is long. Hey, there's Garrett Gillett. Long had nukes. South Africa didn't have nukes for 50 years. Oh, 50 years ago. Oh, okay. I thought you said 50 years. I misread that. South Africa had nuclear weapons in the 1970s. So, yeah, that's about 50 years ago. Apache only used when we have total air superiority. That's nonsense, Neil. I've served in combat. We didn't have total air superiority and we used them. We use them all the time. No, they don't just serve it when you have total air. No. You use seed missions to stop enemy air defense, suppress enemy air defense with radio, electronic warfare means, and with artillery and long-range ATACMs and things like that. Dude, you don't use them only when you have air superiority. No. They're fantastic when you have air superiority. I've never flown in an Oryx. Nope. Apparently Iran has got, okay. All right, Kubi, almost as old as me, says Karn. Yeah, the B-52, that'd be almost a century, wouldn't it? It's amazing. Well, the C-47s are still flying. How many C-47s are still in service? Let me see. Not many, though. I don't know if any are, because South Africa C-47. South Africa used to have 9 of them, but they crashed a couple of them. 150 to 200 C-47 Skytrains and civilian variants DC-3 are still flying worldwide. They have civilian military uses. Yep, 150 to 200 of them. They've been in production in service for 80 years. Wow. Argentina has airworthy, has a few of them. Austria has them on display. Australia has them airworthy. Belgium on display. Brazil on display. Canada has them airworthy with Buffalo Airways, but they're not used for military. Chile has them on display. China has an airworthy one. The Czech Republic on display. Denmark airworthy, they have one still. Ecuador on display. Ethiopia on display. Finland airworthy, still got one. And then France has 3 airframes still airworthy. Yep. Germany has a bunch on display. Greece has one airworthy one. Hong Kong on display. Hungary has one airworthy. India has an airworthy one. Indonesia, Israel, no mention there, on display. Italy on display. Malta on display. Netherlands on display. New Zealand, 2 airworthy airframes. Norway, 1 airworthy airframe. Pakistan has 1 on display. Philippines on display. Portugal on display. Russia airworthy. South Africa no longer has them in service. They have them on display. Yep. So they're all out of service now. But 10 years ago, they were still in service. South Korea on display. Spain on display. Sri Lanka. Sweden has an airworthy one in the Air Force. Oh, now it's not with them. It's with the Flying Society. Switzerland has 3 airworthy ones. Thailand has on display. Turkey on display. UK has several. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 airworthy. Still flying. United States has 2 airworthy C-47s. Yep. And a bunch. Oh, no, I'm sorry. That's the C-47. The C-47A Dakota. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 20, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 29 airworthy. There's more. 30, 31, 32, 33, 35, 6, 7, 8, 9, 40, 42. Yeah, wow, they keep going. U.S. has about 60 of these things still airworthy. Well, it keeps going, the different variants of it, yeah. Wow. Probably about 80. U.S. still has airworthy C-47s. It was for coastal patrol in South Africa until they crashed them in the Drakensberg, and then they kind of backed off them. All right, guys. Yeah, 150, 200 C-47s. Now, that's the variants in DC-3s, yep. Yep. Yeah, it's amazing. Those are just the C-47s I was reading, not even the DC-3s. Yep. Of course, the Buffalo has the DC-3s. I think I mentioned that for Canada. Yep. Alrighty, guys. That's going to do it for this one. Be sure to hit the like button if you haven't done already. Thanks for being here. Appreciate you being here. Thanks for the little bit of super chat revenue we got. No new members, but thank you all for being here. And I'll catch you on Night Owls tonight, unless I get knackered. Okay? It'll be after the hockey game. Now, actually, the hockey game will be on at 10 o'clock. Now it's opinion prediction. Yeah, I'm going to make a video. I already made a short on it. You didn't watch my short, did you? So, see, that's the problem here. Here's the short. It wasn't short, wasn't it? I thought it was a short. Maybe. Oh, no, it wasn't short. It was a prepared video because I recorded on my phone. Is South Africa headed towards civil unrest? That's unrest. That's one. I'm sorry. It's a prepared video. Here you go. So that's the video. That's my first video on it. Go watch that. I'm going to talk about this. Yep. Now Zimbabwe's evacuating nationals from South Africa. It's pretty scary. I'm going to go record that video now and then take a break. All right. All right, guys. Thanks for being here. Sure to hit that like button. Appreciate it. Watch my videos. They're not getting enough views. We need more people to know about these things. All right. Cheers, everybody. Be well, and we'll catch you later tonight. Maybe you can catch my videos coming. Goodbye, everybody. Cheers.